Perfect, Pollard. You good? No, what, yeah, you're right. And what you're going to see right now, yeah, exactly. What you're going to see right now is this vehicle not able to maintain. This person's going to have a very difficult time to maintain the driving and maintain control of this vehicle. Let me tell you where we are. We are in Garfield. We're near the Citadel. I believe we're near the Citadel. This is Washington Boulevard. So now we're turning northbound on Washington Boulevard from Garfield. And if I look out my window here, I'm right by the Citadel. So that kind of gives you an idea where we are. The 5 freeway is just on the other side of Washington Boulevard. And we're actually picking up a little bit of speed right now, but it's going to be a lot harder to control this vehicle going over the train tracks because you lost the tire, you're on the rim, and it's just a matter of time. Look at that thing starting to smoke. Michelle, I predict within 5 minutes, this thing's going to start catching on fire. Yeah, we're coming up near the Citadel. We're still on Washington Boulevard. Washington Boulevard, you can see the officers right behind there, and the 5 freeway is just coming up here in a second. So you'll see Washington Boulevard. I'm curious whether or not these officers are going to initiate a pit maneuver. These are the LA County Sheriff's helicopters. They're doing a great job providing information down to those officers below. They are the eyes for those Bell Gardens police officers as they are pursuing this vehicle. If the suspect and the driver and the passenger decide to run, they're going to be the eyes following those individuals so they can lead officers to where these suspects go. Right now, that's not the case. We're still following in the vehicle about 21 miles per hour. You can see we're coming up on a construction zone area. Here's a construction zone, and this is Telegraph Road. Telegraph Road from Washington, that's where the Citadel is, right to the right of us. The freeway, the 5 freeway is just around the corner, so you can see kind of an idea as I pull out where we are in relation now in the City of Commerce. All right, this might be up. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me, Michelle. That person interfered with his pursuits, and they're definitely questioning that person, trying to find out what exactly they handed it off to officers. Most likely that person may have already told them. We're not too sure. I haven't heard it being dispatched yet. We could still going on Telegraph Road here, northbound on Telegraph Road, just crossing over one of the casinos there. So vehicle going really slow. Hopefully they'll just pull over, but a lot of times they just want to stay out as long as they can. It's a cat and mouse game. They know they're caught. It's just a matter of time until they decide to pull over, throwing something out. So you know what, Michael, that looks like a bottle of can of beer. So perhaps, yeah, so I'm speculating that's what it was, a blue can there, Bud Light being tossed out. And really that changes the elements because earlier it appeared that maybe they were not fully aware of their movements and the way they were acting, agitated, more like they could have been inebriated or something. So most likely affecting their judgment. Definitely the case as we've been following this pursuit now for about 25 minutes. Yeah, slow speed chase. In fact, I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying to get visual of it. We're coming up on an intersection here. This is Atlantic Boulevard and Telegraph. So we're going to go underneath the tracks here. I thought I heard earlier they were going to try to end this pursuit. Wasn't sure the tactic that they wanted to do, but they're just letting this vehicle continue. It's going to come back towards us, Pollard. So now we're turning eastbound again, and this is Ferguson. So this is Ferguson. This is behind the Citadel outlet. So we're going to turn News Chopper 4 around here, and we'll be able to get you a better shot here in a second. And I'm going to focus on the, hey guys, I'm sorry, Michael. Yeah, I'm good. I'm sorry, guys. Talk to me anytime. Yes. Yeah, you know what? It's unfortunately in situations like this, a lot of these people here like to get their props from their friends and so forth. It looked like they were just making a gesture to the camera, perhaps waving. You can see the driver. Her body language is pretty erratic right now. She's very jumpy. She's very fidgety. Definitely, in my opinion, I've seen this behavior before. This person appears to be under some type of influence of perhaps some type of narcotic, just because how fidgety this person is, very jumpy and agity right now. So definitely affecting their judgment right now. We are on Gethard Street. We're on Gethard. This is a industrial and also a residential street here in the Commerce area. So again, we're behind the Citadel. You can see the officers are slowly following this vehicle. Really can't go much faster than what we're doing right now without causing any issues because the vehicle is compromised now since we've lost one of the tires. The right front tire is gone. This person is just driving on the rim. So really they're just buying extra time right now, and that's exactly what it is, buying extra time before they get arrested because of this pursuit. Approaching Gethard Street. We're still on Gethard. We should be coming back to one of the major intersections here, coming up onto some cross-street traffic right now. Very dangerous, exactly, something like that. First of all, you can see, there we go, coming back into a neighborhood that they're familiar with. Now, that's a very dangerous situation. That individual right there will be stopped. First of all, the deal with this particular situation now is you escalated the elements of this pursuit. Something was handed off to the passenger. So now officers are wondering whether or not that is a weapon, whether or not it's a gun. We're not speculating it. I'm just telling you this is what officers are concerned about right now. Now something was handed off to these individuals in this pursuit. Now, most likely one of those officers in this pursuit has stopped that individual. Either we'll get them for interfering or we'll try to find out what they just handed off to this individual. What is the nature of their relationship? We're just yeah, that could be a case. That could be a case. And in fact, we're going to get you another shot of the driver here. I'll get you a street here in a minute, but I just want to focus on the body language of this driver. Again, this thing should be, hopefully, you know, they start to get a little monotonous, and officers want to end this pursuit. But the fact that it's not so dangerous, and when I say that, we're not seeing erratic speeds, we're not seeing fast driving. Time is of essence for officers. They can let them slowly drive until they run out of gas. This is Alston Street. This is Alston Street here in the Commerce area. You can see we're in more of a residential street coming up on Montebello Parkway, and vehicle is only going about 10 miles per hour as they run the stop sign. Sometimes they do mark these violations. Whether or not they tack it onto the list of violations, that may be the least of the concern that this woman is going to be dealing with. Well, let me look at the vehicle that's following, the primary unit. They don't have, they've got the push bars there. Usually the vehicles that have the, that are certified for pits, you'll see the bars around the whole entire vehicle. That allows them to do pit maneuvers without compromising their vehicle. And there's a whole technique with it. I'm not familiar with Bell Gardens. I'm sure they're a great agency. We can see people are crossing the street a little close to those pedestrians. Whether or not Watch Commander is going to approve it, perhaps the Watch Commander is watching this and just saying, let's just follow this vehicle until they run out of gas. We don't know what they're doing, and I know it's easy to play Monday morning quarterback. We're on Whittier Boulevard right now, but these guys know what they're doing, and it's just monotonous. But the fact that speeds are not fast, we don't see any danger to public safety right now. Officers are doing a good job controlling the situation. Believe it or not, they are controlling the situation because the driver's not driving too fast right now. They're letting this person think perhaps that they're in control. Let them drive until they decide to pull over safely. They'd rather end this pursuit peacefully rather than escalating the situation, and that's all up whether the driver wants to end this peacefully and de-escalate the situation. We're coming up into the, looking out the window, I want to say East LA. There's a little hand sign there, so she's probably going to enjoy the little bit of fame, and that's what they do sometimes there, waving to us. And again, they try to get whether or not they're making that gesture to officers, or they know that the media, they know everybody's above. They're acknowledging everybody's presence right now. We're coming up into the Commerce area, east, in fact, we're north of Commerce. We're in East LA, Michelle, and I think the biggest city we're coming up into is in Monterey Park. So officers in Monterey Park now may be aware that a pursuit is near their jurisdiction. They may be assisting if necessary. Again, I don't feel that they would be taking over in a situation like this, but right now we're eastbound Whittier Boulevard, and I'll let you know what our next major cross street is as we come up on it. Yeah, you know, they different agencies have different pursuit policies, and obviously Monterey or Bell Gardens is staying with this vehicle. And again, there's a lot that we may not be aware of. How was this vehicle stolen? So that can be a reason why they're staying with this vehicle, but also the fact that it's not too dangerous. We're not seeing high rate of speeds that's putting anybody at risk right now. It is kind of monotonous, as we keep saying, with slow speeds, but that's what we want to see. We want to see slow speeds. We don't want to see them blazing through intersections right now, going up on the sidewalk. I know some folks think that's exciting to see, but it puts so many people's lives in danger. So the fact that we're going slow, going eastbound on Whittier Boulevard, just past Garfield, officers can just pretty much wait until this vehicle itself becomes disabled or runs out of gas. But I'm listening to the officers right now. They're still calling out the location, and we're only going 15 miles per hour. So hopefully, keep these fingers crossed, this thing will end soon and both suspects will comply. Oh, right there. There it is. There's the accident right there. Yeah, okay, guys, so that's Whittier Boulevard. Whittier Boulevard is where we had the accident. You can see the vehicle is still, oh, wow, she's still continuing. Bell Gardens, from what I've just heard, is not allowed a pit maneuver. According to their agency, they do not do pit maneuvers. My pilot, Jim Pollard, just got that information for me. We are on the wrong side of the road. So now situation is different. I guarantee you this pursuit's going to come to an end. If Bell Gardens can't do a pit maneuver, they're going to get another agency to assist who can do a pit maneuver and bring this thing to an end, considering now we just had an injury accident. They're calling for paramedics for that accident that just happened at that intersection, Whittier Boulevard. I don't have the cross street there. I think it was a little close to Maple, just west of Maple. So now the situation's changed. We have an accident. This pursuit will have to come to an end soon. Officers got to bring this pursuit to an end before somebody else gets hurt. Go ahead, Pollard. And guys, I'm getting some. Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. I'm getting more information. Now we're being told that because there was an accident, these officers may be able to pit this vehicle. Pilot's getting some of that information probably from the sheriff's helicopter, but also the right front wheel is locked up according to the police down below and from the police helicopter. So with that right front wheel locked up as a result of that accident, you can see them tossing more stuff. Now, when they toss stuff out there like that, I'm just going to zoom in on it. Officers, there is going to be one officer who's going to pick that up. So anything that's tossed out of the vehicle, officers go and retrieve that object to see what it is, and they hold it as evidence. So we're still traveling on Whittier Boulevard about 15 miles per hour. Traffic is light, but Michelle and Michael, we were just talking about this a few moments ago. Even though it's going really slow, we just saw an accident resulted in an injury. Paramedics are being called for that person who was involved in that accident. He's stopping. Well, I'm seeing a lot of smoke on the driver's side or on the passenger side. So the vehicle stopped on Montebello, correction, this is Whittier Boulevard near 4th Street. So I think we're in the either Monterey Park or Montebello area right now. Maybe I'm going to call it Montebello. So we're stopped in the middle of the intersection. Whether or not this vehicle is immobilized. The person's on the phone right now. Very important, those officers who are on the ground, they want to know what these people are doing, what is their body language, where are their hands. That's another important thing. Looks like this person may be taking off their seatbelt. I'm going to pull back and see what officers are doing. They all have their guns drawn right now, summoning these individuals to come out of the vehicle, closing down traffic. This is East 3rd Street at Whittier Boulevard. Yeah, and that's what's concerning for officers right now, going through the backpack, pulling out a lot of stuff. It actually looks like toilet paper or Kleenex when I'm seeing. I can also tell you we are in the city of Montebello. Montebello units are on scene right now, backing up officers from Bell Gardens. So we have a couple of agencies. We still have the LA County Sheriff helicopter above, but just too much body movement in there right now would be a little too dangerous for those officers to approach that vehicle. Really, they have that car surrounded. It looks like she's trying to start it again. Getting this vehicle moving again is probably something she wants to do, but I think this vehicle is done for, considering the damage that has been done resulting from an accident and losing that front right tire and driving on the rim, which I understand is locked up right now. 2 individuals are contemplating what they're going to do. Now, we are zooming in right now because they have not opened the door, but going to be really important to emphasize that once that door opens, we're going to maintain visual of their hands. That's what we want to see and make sure that they don't reach for any weapons or anything of that nature and compromise a shot here. We don't want to show anything that's that we shouldn't show. still. So we're going to really keep a close eye on this. But too much, what are they doing in there? In fact, I think they're embracing and hugging. Maybe it's your last hug for a while. Yeah, so we're just going to kind of pull back and give them their moments. But right now, hopefully they'll come out and bring this pursuit to an end. Again, this is in Montebello. We're on Whittier Boulevard at 3rd Street. That's the intersection. Officers have this area surrounded, guns drawn on this vehicle, and hopefully they will wise up a little and actually comply with officers. Yeah, we still have Bell Gardens on scene. They were the primary officers on pursuit, during this pursuit rather, so they're not going to give it up. I think these people are still embracing right now. So they're primary, they're on scene. They were calling for Montebello to assist. Montebello is assisting with them right now. They do have the street shut down. They shut down traffic in all directions. Again, this is Whittier Boulevard at 3rd Street in Montebello. Obviously, these two individuals are still embracing right now. I haven't seen this at the end of a pursuit here, but that's what's pretty much happening right now. I'm going to show you the scene. You can see right in front of Sam's Liquor and in front of a dealership here. You could all these people are outside watching it. Quite a commotion here. All the sound and the noise that is gaining a lot of attention. But we have this entire area covered. We have K9 officers en route. You can see these officers. I'm not compromising their position because the occupants can see them. I'm just showing you the strategic position that they set up. They want to make sure that they're not in any crossfire. And when individuals come up a little close to them like that, filming, really not a good idea. It's not smart doing that. Officers are really busy. They've got a lot going on right now. The last thing is they want to have somebody up on their 6 o'clock who they don't know filming this situation, because now they got to worry about that person as well. You can see this entire area is surrounded, making sure no officers are in the crossfire. And you could see over here as I pull out a little, we've got a Montebello unit shutting down traffic over here as well. So this is 2nd Street. It's Whittier Boulevard, and all the activity is at the intersection of 3rd and Whittier, where this pursuit came to an end, just waiting for these suspects to basically come out. Right, and Michelle, just as we were talking about those individuals, they're telling these people from the Chevy dealership they need to back away. So, and it's not just for officer safety, but it's for their safety. We don't know what these people have in the vehicle, and that's another thing. It comes to an end and everybody wants to see the action. Well, we don't know what these people have in a vehicle. We always think of the worst case scenario. As an officer, you want to assume that these people are armed. You never de-escalate that situation. You want to come and be prepared, and unfortunately, that's the situation right now. These people are in this vehicle, just threw out a bag, so perhaps yeah, we're just tossing out stuff here. Let's kind of get around to the vehicles 12 o'clock so we can see kind of what's being tossed out if we can. So they're just throwing out a lot of junk. Obviously, these people are just wasting time. They know they're going to be taken into custody. They're just trying to stay out as long as they possibly can. Yeah, guys, I'm still trying to get us a good position here. I don't want to lose the shot of the driver, but they're just throwing out debris, junk and debris here. So whether or not she comes out, we'll go ahead and move it over a little more. So we're going to move the helicopter a little more so we can see it. Pilot James Pollard doing a great job with all the commands from the back seat as well. He's doing a great job getting us these shots here. So in a moment, we're going to see what they are throwing out of the vehicle. Not only us and the LA County Sheriff's helicopter, there's other air traffic here that we're also watching. So we're doing a great job here making sure everybody's safe in there. You can see a lot of just debris, throwing that out the window right now. Let me give you a different perspective as I pull out. You can see in the background, this is really good, Pollard. You can see in the background right now, law enforcement officers right there in front of the Chevrolet dealership here in Montebello as they have their guns drawn, focused on these two individuals in this U-Haul, just waiting for them to comply and get out. And it appears that the driver is drinking something. So these guys are just enjoying their time until they are taken into custody. They're not going anywhere. This entire area is surrounded. The vehicle is immobilized. Look at it. It's almost leaning so far to the right. It almost looks like that right front bumper is on the ground. So they're just probably talking to each other, just waiting to finish when they are ready. And that's another thing. They want to feel like they're in control. So they will give up when they are ready to. So officers are patient because really there's nowhere they can go. Another option that they can do is initiate this and end it quickly by putting some pepper pellets in there. Don't know if they would do that. And another thing, I'm looking for a canine unit. Usually we have a canine dog. I heard one was responding code 3 to this scene right now. Just in case if they decide to run, officers will deploy that canine in order to apprehend the suspect, and that is something those individuals do not want to have to deal with. Yeah. Yeah. You guys are correct. And all these resources from Bell Gardens, they're a small city. Now, they definitely still have other units patrolling the city, but all these officers here could be doing public service and protecting individuals in the city of Bell Garden. Well, look at all these units now. They're focusing on these individuals with this pursuit. We also have assistance from Montebello PD. There's a Montebello PD unit right there. They have the intersection shut down, so they're assisting as well. So we'll probably have some more Montebello units. All these folks here, these folks don't realize they're in what we call the crossfire. So they're in the crossfire. Not that there's going to be anything like that, but in this situation, they want to make sure that everybody downwind is at a safe distance in case if something happens. That's why officers make sure, you'll notice, the officers are only to the 6 o'clock behind this pickup truck, to the left or to the right. You're not going to see any officers deployed right in this area, let's say perhaps right by this vehicle, because that'll put them in the crossfire of a situation, and that's what they do not want. So they're also dealing with the suspect, trying to get the suspect to safely comply and end this peacefully, but they're also making sure that no officers get injured at the end of this pursuit, as well as any citizens. Not that there's going to be a gun battle, but they always prepare for the worst and want to make sure that everybody is protected and safe. One of these individuals is on parole for burglary. So, hold on. Okay, so here we go. A little more information. The passenger is on parole for burglary and on probation for carjacking. Carjacking is a violent crime. No doubt this person, the passenger, is going back. So that can also be another reason why they were continuing this pursuit, because the passenger is definitely going away. Now they were in the commission of a crime here during this pursuit. If you're on parole or probation, you're involved in any type of crime, that's it, you're going away. So that could be another reason why they're refusing to come out. And again, it's just a situation of control. They'll come out when they're ready. So they think, I think that window may have been rolled down, but we have the passenger on parole and probation, the driver on having some type of mental illness. So this is just a very volatile situation for officers involved in this situation. No, it's going to take a little time to get those Bearcats coming up on scene right now. Might be from the LA County Sheriffs. They may be assisting with that. You can see the canine officer deployed with his partner right there, just waiting in case if anything happens, they feel the necessity in order to have to use the canine. Sometimes we've seen at the end of pursuits that they'll open the door and just deploy the canine on the driver. I don't think they're going to do it in this situation. Another thing that officers are considering right now is the fact that the passenger is on probation for a violent crime and on parole. Maybe this person doesn't want to go back to prison, so that's another thing, believe it or not, they are considering. So a lot of stuff right now that it's being contemplated, and they're trying to find out how they can bring this to a peaceful end, but right now that doesn't seem to be the case. These people are in control. They are the ones who can determine whether or not this can be ended peacefully. They're just kind of taking their time, and that's why we have a barricaded situation. If you're just tuning in, this is the end of a pursuit that ended here in the city of Montebello. We're on Whittier Boulevard and 3rd Street here in the Montebello area. Right here. She made an attempt, but she wasn't able to open the door due to it being compromised, probably from one of the accidents. Not sure if she's going to roll down that window and climb out, but good news considering this is the individual who may be suffering from mental illness. They want to treat the situation very delicately. You can see she's trying to open that door, but she was talking to officers that she does want to surrender. And here she comes out peacefully with her hands up. As long as she keeps her hands up, we'll keep this shot here for you. She just kissed the driver goodbye, or the passenger goodbye. You can see obviously they do know each other, and he's kissing her goodbye. It's just a situation that concerns me that he is not coming out, and he's urging her to come out. So whether or not he has different intentions, I hope it doesn't result in anything like that. But he's giving her a hug and a kiss. I'll pull out a little, give them their moment, but fortunately she is going to be coming out safely right now, and officers will be able to take her into custody. Yeah, and he's holding her. They're saying he's holding her from coming out, but he's not. You can see right now, folks, he's not preventing her from coming out. They're just embracing and they're hugging each other. And if I was an officer down there, I'd be a little concerned why this woman is coming out and her loved one is not. He was convincing her. He's now officers are telling him to release her and let her go. So he doesn't want to let her go right now. So if he doesn't let her go, this situation can actually turn into a hostage situation for her. So he's I'm going to pull out a little. I'm not comfortable with that shot, whether or not I don't see his hands, but he's not letting her out right now. So she's trying to get out. He's not letting her out. So now we have a hostage situation if he doesn't release her and let her go at her own will. Okay, there. Yeah, now she's out and he's coming out too. That is great news. He's hugging her. She's probably. They're instructing the male to stay in the car. He just doesn't want to let her go. She's kind of pushing him away, and I got to tell you, this is the first of an end of a pursuit where I've seen the suspects embrace, hug, and kiss. I'd rather see that than anything else right now. But you know, he obviously knows. Look at that officer! Wow, that's just tased him. That was a tactic. Wow, kudos. They just ended that situation. So while the person was while they were embracing each other, they were distracted. Officers made their approach and just ended the situation just like that. It was a very deliberate but very bold move by law enforcement officers. And in a sense, they didn't know if he was going to let her go. So they probably made that decision. If he's not going to let her go, they don't know if he's armed. They didn't want anything to happen. They went up and quickly deployed that taser on the suspect, and he went down for the count, and that allowed them to get the female driver. Even though she was a suspect in this pursuit, they still wanted to get her safely out of that situation that she was in. So fortunately now this pursuit has come to an end. Quite a dramatic ending here in the Montebello area, right here on Whittier Boulevard and 3rd Street, where both suspects have now been taken into custody. Okay, guys. My pleasure. Thank you guys for your help. Please tell Michael and Michelle it's a pleasure with them as well. Thank you. Okay, wow. What are you laughing at, Polly? What am I missing? What are y'all laughing at out there? Let me see what they want now. Hey guys, what can we do for you? That was quite an ending there. What can we do for you? Well, fuel situation, let me ask my pilot, but I'm guessing about 40 minutes. Let me see what he says. What's our fuel situation, Pollard? 40 minutes. Okay, 40 minutes. You want us to start heading east? You could talk to me on the microwave?
Oh, no, no, no!
We have a suspect running. Oh, this is going to be close.
To watch more heart-stopping car chases happening across Southern California, subscribe here. Thanks for watching. The Chase is on.